you cannot exactly make sense of time. And I'm not meaning time in just poetry that I always write to people I know when they have their birthdays. No, I'm meaning that when you try to make head and sense of time, then there will be a lot of different complaints and a lot of different arguments. Granted, I know nothing of astronomy nor science, but I do know fiction, and sometimes you just have to let go and realize that there are some things in life that are illogic because they are logic, or logic because they are illogic. Stuff like that. That's how that time works, and this is exactly how this time lapse works here in Fairy Tale. For hi, for those who are watching, it is the Fairy Tale chapter 530, and I am the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer, probably one of the last remaining defenders of Fairy Tale. Since Fairy Tale is heading towards its end, I guess it's only logical that I'm one of the last. So, after a lot of complaints, things still makes a little bit troubles, but we'll get to that in later. First off, the next Fairy Tale memory is of course the fight between Phantom Guild. We then go to a flashback when Princess Hisue was just a cute little girl, back then when Layla opened the gate and Anna went through. Because now there is something that is confirmed. A lot of people are probably gonna miss this, but do you all recall that Hisua said to Lucy that her father knew her mother, or stuff like that, or more like they knew her father? So maybe they said they knew her father. But the thing is, here it is confirmed. The Heartophilia family really did know the royal family of Fiore. And as Layla opened the gate, Anna went through, and she entered the right gate, but the dragon's children have all scattered like fallen meteors uh, on the sky. And then turns out that you wondered, how did Anna actually appear 400 years ago through the Eclipse Gate? Well, turns out she did the Back to the Future skill. Layla read a book that has been on her family for generations, that said, "To you who lives in an era of powerful Eternio, when the sun and moon intersect, use the 12 keys to open the gate." So it turns out that Anna Heartophilia did the Back to the Future move. She wrote a book that she gave to her descendants, because it turns out that Anna really did have a child. And those descendants passed down their book to book to book until Layla's time, when magic was at its strongest. So basically, they just did, as I just said, a Back to the Future gimmick, and I feel like I actually like that gimmick. It's also pretty cute how they describe it in chibi-like form. I mean, a lot of people are gonna say this doesn't make sense, but hey, it is time, people. You cannot make sense of time. Besides, if there ever comes a day where people can prove this, then we cannot prove it at all, you know. So either way, uh, so Anna told them that the reason why she was here is for different missions. And the reason why Layla opened this is because she was hoping to end the responsibility of the Heartophilia family this day. Alas, though, she hid the fact that she had used up all of her strength. And turned out that Anna was a very insightful woman. She knew that Acnologia would have no interest in attacking men. And before you complain, you're gonna say, huh? That doesn't make sense. Acnologia wants to destroy the world. Yes, you are right, but please, 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 people, can you stop trying to make logic of Acnologia? He has no logic. Zedek said it himself. He's reclusive. He prefers to live alone. But when he is gearing to fight, then he will be gearing to fight. Acnologia is just a personification of insanity, and insanity can never be understood completely through logic alone. So Anna went off to do the plan, and Anna wanted the king to destroy the gate, but I think they did not do that. So, back to the future, Anna told them that she began to search for that power, a power that is not light nor darkness, it is the very essence of nothingness, and that's called the time lapse, the space between time. Apparently, and here is where things get confusing, and I cannot exactly explain it in a way even I do not understand. Apparently, the frequent time travels, so to speak, have caused a distortion in the fabric of time itself. This method sounds very similar to the Rave Master. What was his name? Not Eternal. Endless. So was his name. And he could only be stopped with Ethernio, which also was a time-like power. Because apparently to Anna there was a distortion in the fabric of time itself, and that has created a hole that there is no timeless spell inside of it. It's basically nothingness. So that is why she believes that's the only thing that can destroy Acnologia, a power that basically have created a nothingness hole. Still doesn't exactly explain though how they can control a power that basically is that's dangerous. For me, it almost translated like, isn't that meant that the fabric of time itself it's tearing itself apart? And if it is, who knows? Um, but according to Anna, when they asks, did the gate did the hole be affected when they opened the gate in the Grand Magic Day? And Anna confirmed they did. But according to Anna, the hole in the time is basically not bigger than a tangerine. So she believes that's the final resting place. So their goal is basically to find that hole and lure Acnologia into that hole, so then basically erasing him from existence. And if that will happen, well, okay, I admit, even I will feel a little bit disappointed if Acnologia goes down like that. However, the fact that they have created a time hole means that it has to be used now. And seeing that you cannot close the time hole, then that means that you will, close it somehow. So who knows, will Acnologia really go down like that? If it goes down like that, it'll make sense, but it doesn't mean I will have to like it. So back to the place, Gray and Lucy and Happy wonder what they do, and Happy decides to tell the story about Open the Book. When then Gray decides to, at the beginning he wants to tell them Seraph's plan, but he decides not to. But, Gray, I think you just did a mistake. I think you should have told the plan. So they will open the book. According to Igneal, they should never ever have opened that book. Is it possible by opening the book then END will resurface? Back to the fight, Seraph have gone even more mad, and for the first time makes his intentions all the more clear. And this is where people are still also gonna complain. They're gonna say like, oh, so in the end it is like this. However, I will have to defend this choice. Turns out that the plan, I think this is all the same plan that Seraph talked about to Gray. As much as I wished for him to say that his plan was to cause so much casualty to summon Ankh-Seram, it is clear for now that we are not gonna see Ankh-Seram in this story. He will be an unseen villain, and even if he will be seen, he will probably be one-shotted in the first 2 chapters, which, by the way, a lot of people besides me are not gonna like. So either way, turns out that Seraph's plan is simply to reset time itself. After living a life full of hell, 400 years, been rejected by the world and so many things more, he decides he will use a plan to reset time back to when he was a mortal, back to when he was everything he was before he became the Dark Magic Seraph. Basically, that is the plan, to erase every single history and every single person, even Acnologia of this time, so they can go back to a new time. And at the beginning, people will say, okay, so his way is not the destruction of people, but there's where you're wrong. This is the destruction of people. Seraph is now so insane, he believes that the only way. No, he is so insane and so full of grief that he no longer sees the good in mankind. After all, but then again, my country just had a very dangerous attack. So, so I agree with Seraph. I see no good in humanity anymore. But that's besides the point. What I meant to say is that Seraph believes that only at that time were everything perfect, and for Seraph it was. So by erasing time up until now, he will have completed his goal. Not a single one will have been existed, will be alive, and the only thing that will be alive is those back in that day. So that's his true goal, for this world to disappear. And then he says the mysterious final words. The key to this plan is Mavis. Turns out Mavis's plan, no, to use Mavis' fairy heart was not to kill Acnologia, but it was to create the endless amount of magic so that he can use the second one, which is the time lapse itself, meaning Seraph is fully aware of the crack in space. So he's gonna use that, combining essence is gonna combine the eternity of magic with the nothingness of the crack in space. And will that he will control time and basically erase everything up until now and go back. That's the Neo-Eclipse plan. Humanity's last hopes lies in Seraph's hands. Well, I don't know about that. However, next chapter is called Pegasus versus Black Dragon. Is that meant to include that we will now face Acnologia's final defeat? Who knows, but a crack in space, a very very small hole, and the Christina intends to go to that place and lure Acnologia to fly into it. But Seraph's plan is to use Mavis' magic to also harness the time lapse. I have a feeling that time itself will be erased in this. And now the gang decides to open the book, while Mavis says that only they can save Natsu. Yeah, so many loose ends, so little time, no pun intended. And either way, I know people besides me won't be happy with how it'd be satisfying. So basically this one, some questions answered, some not. But all in all, I feel like it wasn't a bad chapter. So give me your thoughts if you have any.